Last year, an interesting news report caught the public's eye. Based on research by U.S. economics professors, the report said that the amount of money that couples spend on a wedding ceremony is inversely associated with the duration of the marriage. Weddings that cost less than $1,000 showed a significant decrease in the likelihood of divorce, while weddings costing more than $20,000 increased the likelihood of divorce by 60%. The research added, quote, "The wedding industry has grown substantially throughout the 20th century, in part due to the rise of consumerism and industry efforts to commodify love and romance." The wedding industry landscape has not been so different in Korea, but there are certain changes now. More young couples choose to have a small wedding instead of following the standard Korean wedding ceremony. What matters the most to them is to have their own unforgettable moment in an intimate setting, rather than to look their best in front of their friends and relatives in a large ballroom. Some have weddings in open-air venues in museums. Auditoriums in government buildings are also used to conduct weddings. It's a matter of personal choice. Spending money for a nice wedding is not necessarily a bad idea. You may believe that you should look your best on that special day, and the guests should be given the highest quality of service. In that case, a lavish wedding is worth the price. But many newlyweds in Korea are making more practical decisions and reducing the cost of weddings. Different people have different definitions about weddings. For some, it is one of the most meaningful moments in their lives, and for others, weddings are a way to display a family's social status. But one thing can be said safely. What matters the most is not how well you look on your wedding day, but how well your life after the ceremony goes. Koreans are breaking away from tradition by holding smaller weddings. Younger people are taking a more practical approach of saving money while still appreciating the ideals of matrimony. So I said Koreans are breaking away from tradition. So to break away from something is, we usually use it if a group of people are doing one thing or going one direction. So if you break away, you've kind of gone off by yourself and you're either going in a different direction or doing something else that the rest of the group is not doing. By holding smaller weddings. So we call them smaller weddings. They're also been known as intimate weddings. We kind of use both terms. And then finally, I said they are still appreciating the ideals of matrimony. Matrimony is, I believe, derived from the Latin word of marriage. The whole idea of matrimony is the whole institution of marriage. Getting married, being married, doing things married couple do is matrimony. So we've also used it, that's kind of talking about married life, is matrimony. Smaller and more intimate weddings are gaining popularity in Korea. Younger couples can get married and save money for useful expenses down the road. So in the last part of that sentence, I said, save money for useful expenses down the road. So useful expenses like a house, a car, a child's education, whatever you think is useful. And then down the road is an expression we use for time. It's unspecific. So you can say, you talk to someone who's in high school, you say, hey, look, down the road, you'll be in college soon. Or let's say, you're 20 years old and you want to get married at 30. You would say sometime down the road in my 30s, I'd like to get married. It's an unspecific use for time. For too long, Koreans have concentrated on big budget weddings. These weddings are great, but the question that needs to be asked is, will it last? The rise of smaller weddings could be the right move to help marriages last forever. So I said the question is, will it last? So, whenever you know someone, a friend or family member that's getting married, you would talk to your friends. You'll think, oh yeah, it will last. But if you look at a couple and you see they're not getting along well, we say, oh, it won't last or it'll never last. It's kind of an expression means the marriage will be successful or unsuccessful. And then next I said the rise of smaller weddings could be the right move. So the rise, what we're talking about is the gaining popularity. So we can say like the rise in coffee shops has made coffee a lot cheaper. It doesn't necessarily mean to rise up or to get up, but you'd have to think about on a chart. If something is going up, it is rising. So the rise of smaller weddings could be the right move to help marriages last forever. There is nothing wrong with having a big wedding. It is a chance to invite all your friends and family to see you on one of the greatest days of your life. The cost for those memories and experiences of a large wedding will last a lifetime. So I said, the last part will last a lifetime. If you buy something that's very expensive, but it has very good quality, it will last a lifetime, means it will last very, very long, possibly your whole life. Big weddings may be expensive, but it gives you the opportunity to have everyone you know gathered together to share in your happiness and a new chapter in your life. So that last part, a new chapter in your life. A chapter in your life means a certain period of time. For example, high school was a chapter in your life. College was a chapter in your life. If you joined the military, that's a chapter in your life. You could also say, there was a chapter in my life where I was an accountant. Then I switched careers and became a lawyer. So it just means a certain period of time, unspecific, where you did one thing. So marriage is a chapter in your life. So is when you're divorced, another chapter in your life. There is a shortage of venues for smaller weddings. The government can assist in offering couples to use their facilities for the ceremony. This would be a good use of tax dollars. So the first part I said there's a shortage of venues for smaller weddings. A venue is a place usually where you would have a concert, a ceremony, a conference of some type. It can be like a concert hall, a ballroom. So if there's a shortage of venues for smaller weddings, means there's not enough. And then finally, I said this would be a good use of tax dollars. Tax dollars is just another expression for saying tax money. So, your tax dollars go to police, fire, building roads, schools, same as tax money. Local governments can assist its citizens by offering to have weddings on government property. This would help couples have more options for having smaller weddings. Thank you guys. Thanks for downloading. Bye-bye.